What's up, guys? Welcome to I Love You Mana, a return of a bit that we did for the last Pro Tour that was very well received. This is
It was well received.
people got a lot of we got a lot of comments on our Discord.
Nice.
We got a lot of views on YouTube for us. I mean, we're a very small
How many?
channel. I don't know, probably like 60.
Nice.
So that's not bad.
No, that's good.
So anyways, we're here with Sam Harriman, the owner of Sisyphus, at Sisyphus. I think I said it was I Love You Man home base last time.
Yeah.
But it is the home of the Sisyphus brewery drafts that happen every second Wednesday of the month. And here we are reacting to the World's Championship draft, Nathan Stoyer's draft on day one. Let's maybe talk a little bit before they get into the draft, Sam, about your feelings of the format. How do you feel about Wilds of Eldraine? Limited. I know you're a big sealed guy.
Been big on the sealed.
Have you played much draft or?
I've done 3 premier drafts, so best of one, and probably 5 traditional.
Okay.
But sealed, I've probably done 20 at this point.
Oh my God, 20 sealed. And you're really good at sealed. Like, you've been crushing.
Been crushing the traditional sealed. I don't think I've ever done a best of one sealed. But I think that's like my feelings on the format is the best of 3 is more enjoyable for me versus the aggro sort of game plan for best of one.
Yeah, I mean, aggro is very good in this set, and then best of one and the hand smoother and draft versus sealed, all of it tends to favor aggro a lot more. And then there are really some cool, like, multicolor, splashy, soupy stuff you can do in this set, but they're very much hampered by the power of aggro. Now, interestingly, we're about to watch. We'll pause at a more interesting spot in the draft here, but we're about to watch the world's the World Championships. They had like the Pro Tour, they had to do draft and then constructed. So this tournament was standard. But going on simultaneous with this, there was a 100K prize pool sealed tournament.
This was all in Vegas?
All in Vegas, okay. Yeah. So the top prize for this tournament was $100,000 for the winner, I think. But then there's a $100,000 prize just for sealed, right?
Oh my God.
I guess the day 2 was draft. But so while these people are drafting right now, there are, hundreds of, I don't know, like probably thousands of people playing sealed, I guess one floor below or whatever in the convention hall.
Jeez, wouldn't these guys want to play in that? Or is the prize as equally big for winning this?
I mean, I think it's 100K like split in like the top prizes. Okay. So like, I think the top prize is still bigger here for Worlds. Also, if you win Worlds, you get your like face on a card. It's like a little bit more prestigious and stuff. So like, but like, it is kind of a crazy prize pool to have for a open entry tournament.
Yeah.
Like, just a lot of people like, a lot of like limited content creators or stuff, they were like, matriculating into day 2. So it was kind of cool to watch their journey. There was a camera operator who was watching the day 2 draft for the sealed tournament. And I wanted to see if we could like get that footage to like react to it. And because they were following Andrea Mangucci, who's an Italian player.
He's a goofball.
He's also a big cube guy, and you're a cube guy.
Yeah.
But like trying to watch that camera of like the cameraman on like an iPhone trying to like zoom in on the cards was just a little bit too tricky.
Yeah, sure. You might be able to spot 1 or 2.
Yeah, I was like watching. And it's like, okay, that looks like it might be a Hamlet Glen, or it could be any other green card. So I think we'll just go through the 2 drafts that we have here for the Pro Tour. And the other important thing to know is that like these drafts are really important because like there are fewer rounds in the World Championship than there are in the Pro Tour. And so I think there's still 2 drafts. Okay. And so because there's still 6 rounds of draft and there's fewer rounds overall, draft is weighted higher in your performance. So like these players, like even if they're not limited players, they all like had to like learn how to get good at draft. And like apparently like, there are different testing teams. Nathan Stoyer's from like Team Handshake. Apparently the Channel Fireball testing team had a 6-hour draft like crash course.
Jeez.
Where they just like, went through every single card, and they were like, the way they framed it was they ranked the cards on whether or not the rares are better than Imodane's Recruiter.
Okay.
as like the best uncommon in the set.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the rares that are better than that, and then the rares and uncommons that are better than Candy Grapple or Torch of the Tower,
Okay.
which is like the best common in the set. And so those are kind of the watershedding moments. But each team had their own like limited testing philosophy, right?
Sure.
And so like I've listened to a little bit of this draft before, some commentary on this, and I wonder if some of Nathan's picks here, as we get into it, are going to be colored by what the Team Handshake testing house decided was the optimal thing to do.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know the other people on this pod, but Nathan's like this. Like I guess that might be Anthony Lee, who, spoiler alert, we're going to see his draft tomorrow. I think he 3-0s his draft today.
Okay.
So
some good choices for first pick.
I mean,
he's pulling them all to the front.
Yeah, what does he got there?
Torch the Tower, what is that? Revenge?
Witchstalker's Frenzy, yeah, which is a really good burn spell. And then Up the Beanstalk. And then there's this Oversold Cemetery. And then Imodane the Pyrohammer, which is a good like build around card, but I don't really want to first pick it.
Yeah.
He passes all of these good red cards and he takes Up the Beanstalk. Now, how do you feel about that?
I don't know that I would take that first. The what is it? Frenzy?
Yeah.
I think is very good. And obviously Torch the Tower is very good.
Yeah. I think I probably would be on Frenzy, although it's very close. Here in pack 2, he's kind of rewarded because he has 2 very good green cards, which he's pulling to the front. This is like the Sweet Tooth, Welcome to Sweet Tooth, which is like the food saga. And then there's the Raccoon. This is the one that has the adventure to like mill stuff and put permanent into play. Mm-hmm. It's a little mana dork. But it's a good card, and it does combo with Up the Beanstalk because the adventure triggers Up the Beanstalk. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of like
and ramp for your 5 mana spells.
Yeah, totally. So he's kind of like, it seems like he's trying to be more green. And I don't know, maybe he thinks that green is better than red, or maybe he just thinks that like Up the Beanstalk is a better place to start. So now pack 3, there's this Tome Seeker, which is actually not bad, but it's blue, and I don't really want to be green-blue. And then he's also pulling...
No, that's not a card I would get into blue for this early.
Yeah.
That's pick 3.
That uncommon is Sir Amrant, which is the white-green signpost. 5 mana, 4/4, puts a roll on something, buffs everything that's enchanted. He's picking that here.
I think that's what I would take there.
Okay. And it is it's also
5 mana.
5 mana.
It's in green. White could be easy splash, especially if you're going to be base green. Very splashable card, too.
I'm usually not trying to be green-white in this set. Like, usually I'm like green splashing stuff, and this is one thing I'm splashing. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is pick 4. There's some interesting stuff here. There's this Red Tooth Vanguard. There's also Eret's Tempting Apple, which is a card that has been pretty good, especially if it's an aggro format.
I thought that card would be terrible from first blush reading it before playing the set. I mean, but I've definitely worked it in more and more as I keep playing. It just gets people out of nowhere sometimes.
Yeah, and then it can dome them for additional 3.
Or you can gain 3 if you need it.
Yeah. But he takes this the Red Tooth Genealogist, which does pair with his uncommon, because it puts a roll on things. So now this is pick 5. And in this pack, there's
Virtue of Strength. I don't know what that one does.
It's kind of unplayable. It's a pretty bad one copy of the cycle. There is a the Ratcatcher Trainee, which is one of the better red commons.
So he's already between those. I mean, he's thinking about taking the Virtue of Strength.
No, he's taking this fairy card, the Twin Veil Guide, which I've honestly never played with. He also passes here, notably, a Johann, the white-red uncommon, which Johann's very powerful, and it's like a signal that maybe red-blue is open, which is an archetype that might not be that explored. This pick 6, he's got the Iron Crag, which I don't know how good that card is.
I think you just view it as ramp. That's all it is. The little trigger thing is like, I've never seen anybody do that.
Yeah, the turning into the equipment. But it does, like, if you're trying to do like the five mana stuff, this helps you get there. And then now he's got 2 rampers.
Yeah.
So,
which I think you definitely want if you're going to be green.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a big part of the game plan. Getting like the fawn too.
Yeah.
As fixing and ramp.
So now this is pick 6, and we're seeing, the power of this pack is looking a little bit lower.
Much.
There's some kind of unplayable stuff. There's the Lectern. There's Intangible Virtue, which is kind of a build around card.
What did he take?
He took the Whisper, which I guess it puts a roll on something. I'm not sure if that's something I would want to be taking at pick 6 in the draft even.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a card that you hope, like, you're never really hoping to put that in your deck.
No.
Okay, so pick 7, I think. He's got the Werefox in his hand, pulling it to the front.
I think that would be my choice here, the Werefox. It just goes with everything he's got going.
Yeah. I mean, if he was in kind of the blue space, he could think about Johann's Scapegoat. But
Stopgap.
Yeah, Stopgap. But the Werefox, Ferocious Werefox, it puts a roll, which is good for... He's like really building around Sir Armon right now. Because he's prioritizing all of these rule stuff.
Yeah. But I think you're also probably hoping to pick up some of the, later on, the draw card green guy.
Oh,
really the white one. I don't think that's like the best payoff for the rolls. I mean, obviously it's good, but it's not like... I'd rather have the draw card uncommon.
Sure. He's passed a lot of... I think he's like, at this point, he's just like, I'm not going to play red. It's just like, I've shipped too much red. If he was on the Johann life, he could have like picked up a couple catapults here. And Johann plus catapults plus instants and sorceries and adventures. That's a way to kill people. What do you pick up here?
I found that just is so slow, the catapult. Because is Thermo Alchemist a 2-mana spell?
Yeah, it is.
That to me like makes all the difference in the world. Because like I was excited when I saw that there was the pinger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, blue-red spells is alive. Let's do it. And it's just the closest I've come to having a good blue-red spells deck was the one that I drafted here. And that was a pot deck, versus like on Arena. So other than that, I just like you're getting that thing down on turn 3, it's like you're already too late.
Sometimes, yeah, you need to have a lot of interaction. And Johann really helps with that because it like helps you just cast stuff on the top, which triggers all your catapults. But like you need to have multiple catapults, and it's more awkward because they are 3 mana.
This Bestial Bloodline, another card I had pegged as unplayable before, but in sealed, this thing can be a beast, especially if you do have some of the synergistic aura payoffs.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. If you have like the lookout and stuff, you can continually trigger it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like paying 5 mana to get it back just happens so rarely. Like this set is not like Phyrexia all will be one, but it is pretty aggressive. And I've noticed that a lot of games end with like both players having cards in hand, right?
Yeah, I would never play this in best of 1. This card, unless I needed it for some of those payoffs.
Like you need to have like, I mean, there is kind of a Boggles deck in the format because there's that like 1 mana Toadstool Admirer that has Ward, and like so you put the auras on that. It has Ward, it protects it a little bit, but that doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to get there. I don't think in the World Championship that you're like hoping not to draft the Boggles deck, right?
Yeah, right.
And I don't think Nathan really wants to right now. I think if I were him, I'd be thinking of drafting like some kind of green splashy grindy deck.
Yeah, I would be thinking on base green. What can I'd be looking for fixing the most in this pack.
Okay,
in the pack 2.
Yeah, now we're in pack 2, and he does open Tough Cookie, which is one of the best green uncommons.
Definitely.
Honestly, it's not as good as Imidane's Recruiter, but it's pretty close.
The Vanguard he pulled to the front too. That card has just been... It's fine as a 2-drop if you need 2 drops, but the getting it back is too expensive. It's like the paying 2 to then 2 more to recast it.
Yes.
It's just like you rarely have time to do that.
And then eventually it just gets torched the tower and exiled.
Yeah.
But okay, he does take the cookie, which is I think the obvious choice for
Yeah,
him.
that was pretty easy.
There was if
he doesn't have any other food though, does he?
Not really, but like it's just good on its own. The other thing is that if he was in this like red blue or red space, okay, he's got this is the rabbit, the hare.
Okay.
That like
yeah, toughness equal to permanence, and there's another one of the same one he already has. Or is that a different card?
This is a different rabbit.
No, the multicolored here.
So yeah,
he already has one of those.
He has okay. So this is pack 2, pick 2, and let's just break this down a little bit. He's pulling out. He has the Sir Armad already. It's another copy of Sir Armad.
Mm-hmm.
Then the rare is the Pollen Shield Hare, which is a white creature that gives tokens +1/+1, and then it's a green sorcery adventure that gives target creature like +1/+1 equals the number of creatures you control until end of turn.
Okay.
And then Curse of the Werefox.
Gotcha.
So I think he, having watched this before, he takes Curse here because he's got 0 removal and also gives him a roll. And he's probably hoping to wheel one of these Lesnia cards. I mean, the rabbit's not going to wheel, but like maybe Sir Armand would wheel. If like literally no one else is like in green.
Sure.
But like he also hasn't seen, there's some green cards he hasn't seen yet. He hasn't seen the Fawn, I don't think.
No.
He hasn't seen a Hamlet Glutton.
No.
So those are the green cards that you really want to be seeing if green is open. Okay, so now we're in pack 2, pick 3. There's some white cards. There's the Mouse, Stockpiling Celebrant. What do you think of that card? Oh, there's also a Stab Wound.
The Celebrant?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you got stuff to pick up, it's good. I don't think he necessarily has that yet, though.
No, he doesn't. He's got like nothing to pick up.
I think I'd be looking at the Prism here just as a
way to
fixing edge.
Because
he seems kind of locked in on white a little bit as his
second color. Yeah,
I would take this. I think this card's very playable, but I would want to make sure I had something first.
Yeah, and
if you're just casting it as a 3/2 and not bouncing anything,
it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
and like I think the Prism is pretty free here. Like I don't know if he really wants a stockpiling yet. But here in pick 4, he does get the Fawn, which is really nice for him. Mm-hmm. Like that's going to help him splash around. He really doesn't have. He has some kind of black cards, but they're not really that good right now.
No, he's just got the discard and
like I think one of the fairies, the 4-mana fairy,
the ambush sort of fairy.
So like green, black, white does tend to play well with each other in this set, but he doesn't really have a reason to splash yet. But he still might open something powerful later.
I was so bummed by this Knight of Dubs card.
Yeah,
I thought that was going to be absolutely bonkers.
Because
it's just been okay.
It reminds me of like Hamlet Chaplain from DMU.
Yeah,
like that's what I thought. It's like, oh, I'm going to make so many birds with this thing.
Yeah,
but it like maybe makes 1 bird, and it's too low statted because it's a 1/3 that doesn't do anything when it ETBs.
And there's what's the black card that makes rats when an enchantment?
Oh, the cat?
The cat does that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that card's also not that good.
No. My first sealed, though, I had 2 of the knights and like 3 of the cats. And I just like went off and I was like, oh, this is going to be one of the best decks in the format. And it's just not.
I mean, yeah, you did get there with that sealed.
Yeah. It was fun to play, but it was also like, then I went to draft and like tried to build that deck and was like, oh, this just gets demolished.
Well, yeah, because you're playing
enchantments going to the graveyard, not playable archetype.
So he picks up a Back for Seconds here, which is speaking of draft data. Back for Seconds has like 54% win rate in best of 1 draft, which I find so surprising because it reads kind of similar to like Unsealed and Acropolis from March of the Machines, which like was one of Black's top commons. And Back for Seconds has an upside. If you like bargain it, you get something for free. But I guess the format's more aggressive, and we'll get an ad. The format's more aggressive, and also Back for Seconds is source free speed, right? So you have to go shields down. Oh, this is like pack 2, pick 6 or something, pick 5,
Another,
and he gets another up the beanstalk.
which honestly, it's not even that good in his deck. He's got 1 5-drop.
Yeah, that's a good point. But he also has the backside of the raccoon.
Oh yeah,
Because that does trigger it. But he is looking. I mean, he's really looking for Hamlet gluttons, right? Like,
yeah.
that's what you want to see.
I mean, he's not going to see on this pack, obviously.
You know, I think it's already basically
It's
gone around.
here, yeah.
And then, if I were him, I'd be looking at this. He takes the beanstalk guide as like another piece of fixing. Which honestly, I'm not embarrassed by playing 1 or 2 of those. I mean, one of them really.
Kind of a necessity if you're
Because
trying to splash.
it is a creature. It can block if it needed to.
It's an artifact, so you can bargain it.
Yeah, it's gonna make a good point. He passes a second back for seconds and takes instead a spider food, which I'm guessing is like sideboard,
Yeah.
Type thing.
Ooh, wow, you can get another one too.
I guess he is taking one.
I'm surprised he takes that over the clothier.
Yeah, he
Must
needs a
think
5
that card's not good.
I mean, it isn't that good, but in his deck, it's actually decent because it provides a roll, right? And it's a 5-drop, and that's kind of what he needs right now. He takes this Phyrexian Unlife, which I don't think in any world you're playing that card. A couple auras to round out the pack. But yeah, it looks like now going into pack 2, he really needs I think he needs probably cheap creatures to not die, and he needs removal, and he needs 5-drops.
Yeah, he needs everything.
Which is that's a rough place to be in the draft.
Yeah, there's just not a game plan in this. I mean, I guess it's hope to going into pack 3. I'd be hoping to open something that is a win condition that I can splash because I've got the pieces.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he does
Got
have
some ramp.
He's got ramp. He's got the up the beanstalks. He's got he does have all of these roll guys. Also, notably, Sir Armont did not wield the second Sir Armont.
Yeah.
So I mean, that would be kind of a long shot. Anyway, these are really good drafters. They're going to pick up the cards that are powerful.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody else at the table's in green, you have to assume they're looking at that as a splash card.
Yeah, basically. But he did get these beanstalks pretty late. So if people are in green, then they're not valuing that beanstalk from pack 2 is very late.
Very late.
That means half the table is either not green or maybe there's just better green cards that are being opened. I don't know. But yeah, definitely looking to sort of fill holes for this final pack. And yeah, I don't know if I would be super jazzed if I was in this position right now.
I mean, fingers crossed you get a Hamlet glutton second pick or something.
Yeah.
In the third pack, open something that's good that's in your colors.
Mm-hmm.
Get some but yeah, you need help. You're not. There's no way you can be confident at this point.
But he's also has enough fixing that if some crazy red starts flowing or something, he could pick up a couple red cards and be red. Mm-hmm. At least he's eaten his veggies in that point of view. But had he taken a prism earlier and maybe not valued some of these white cards as much, mm-hmm. White and blue are the two I think the two weakest colors in the format. Mm-hmm. But maybe Team Handshake thought that he's got pack. So pack 3, he opens up a Candy Rapple, one of the most powerful commons.
Like that one.
And then not a whole lot else. I just wonder if their team was white has a potential for being underdrafted. Sure. So maybe we can figure out a white deck. Okay, there's also Feed the Cauldron, which is we're probably worse than Grapple, but not that far. It's a card that gives you food, which he does care about for the Tough Cookie.
Yeah, that's about it though.
Yeah, if he had a couple other, he passed some food payoffs, but I think he's more of a roll deck right now.
Okay, that's a good green pick up there.
Yeah, Agatha's Champion. I mean, it's a 5-drop. Mm-hmm. It is removal.
Oh, that land though too is pretty nuts. That blue green land.
Yeah,
it's tough where he's at. But I guess you could splash that pretty easily with what he currently has.
I think he could splash it, but I think he can't pass the.
No, he needs that so bad. It's removable.
Yeah,
It's a 5-drop, right? Is it 5?
yeah, it's 5. So I mean, like, best case scenario, right? You play this, you draw 2 cards from your 2 up the beanstalks, you kill your opponent's creature, and then you're just so far ahead then. So yeah, he must be pretty pleased about that. But like, you can tell the look on his face, like he's just like, I gotta fill some holes here. We still need some way to like power to close out a game,
Right.
So what is he looking at here? Is this
At this point, I'd be thinking no chance of getting a glutton.
Yeah, it's looking rough. Clearly, some other people are in green, and green's a popular color and a powerful color in this format. So he's looking at Minstrosity. He's looking at the Wolf common. He's looking at. I think he takes the Wolf, passing some pretty powerful black here.
Yeah, the Witch, not too bad either.
Sweet Tooth Witch.
Yeah,
and like honestly, like he doesn't have that much. I guess he's thinking that he's like Selesnya Splash Black. But he could just be taking like the better black cards and like make his second color black.
Right. His white. Oh, that's a good pickup.
Ooh, I mean, this is pick 3 or 4.
Pick 4.
That's crazy that this card. That means like means that the players to his like left or whatever, the 3 of them are not in either black or green, or have any ability to splash it. So this is one of the best rares in the set. This is the Mosswood Dread Knight. This is the card that like keeps on coming back. You can keep playing its Adventure from the Graveyard.
You just get 1 turn though, right?
You get 1 turn, but like as long as you can cast that Adventure from the Graveyard, on your next turn, then you can keep going here. And this is going to be an interesting pick. So there's a
Utopia Sprawl.
There's Utopia Sprawl, which he needs for fixing because he's like kind of solidly 3 colors right now. There's a 5-drop.
For me, I think the Worm is. I think he's got a lot of fixing because he took 2 Scarecrows.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got the Prism. He's got the Fawn.
He passes the Worm. He also passed Lord Skinner's Butcher, which is a really good card in the Rat deck. It's probably a lot worse in his deck.
Yeah.
Like if you have like 3 creatures or like whatever, it can just be ETB, give everyone menace, win the game. But like if you don't have any creatures, then it's just like it makes a rat token. It's a 2/3. He passes the Red Tooth Vanguard, which is that 2-drop we talked before, for another Wolf. That's the one that makes food. I'm not sure. I probably just would want the 3-drop, the 2-drop here. But like I agree that like they're probably pretty similar on power.
Yeah, just the making of food, I think, is probably what pushes it towards the Wolf.
Yeah, that makes sense. And just having like, okay, he gets a combat trick. Titanic Growth has been like, I mean, it's a combat trick that's like as old as dirt, but
yeah,
it does get people. Tricks are powerful in this set just because like being able to leverage tempo is really powerful. And then he's looking at this pack, which has like all the cards in it are blue. It looks like he takes this. He takes the fairy, the Clothier. So that's another 5-drop. So now he's got like kind of I guess he's got 3 5-drops.
Yeah, with 2 up the beanstalks.
Maybe there's another one we're missing, but
what is the blue green or the green blue tapper there? What happens if you cast a 5-drop with that?
I think it makes mana that only can be spent on 5-drops.
Okay.
And then it has ability to like filter. It can like
for blue.
You can loot, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, it doesn't actually. And he just like rare drafts a Rowan here.
Nice.
Which I mean, Rowan is kind of a scary card because it's like just a 4/2 menace. That's still pretty decent. Picks up a Oof here, which is good. He needs 2-drops. So
good against some decks situationally.
Yeah, sometimes you just like he takes a guy here and passing the he passes the
Shalai.
The Azorius
Tapper payoff.
Yeah, which is a really good card, which he could splash here. Like he has the power to splash it. with all of his fixing. But like, I don't know. I guess it's fine to take just another 4-drop. I mean, I don't really like that card, but
No, especially without anything else to tap with. It's just gonna.
yeah. Oof. I mean, I think the fairy, sorry, the merfolk Shalai, she's good even by herself, if you have no other way to tap, because she puts you draw a card when you tap something, and she taps something down when she comes in, so she plays it herself. I hope we're gonna see his deck here, because I've seen this before, because it was posted during the tournament. But yeah, he plays, Selesnya Black. He has the guide on the clothier on the top end, and some 5-drops, and there's got some filler in there,
Some filler.
So I wonder if we can skip ahead to show the deck. There it is. All right, so here's the deck. So again, only
those are on the dark tutelage.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You notice that immediately. How do you feel about dark tutelage in this deck? This is a card that I've never played.
Just kill him. Like, it seems too risky.
Yeah, you just flip over like your clothier, and then you're very sad.
I guess you can gain life a little bit from
the wolves giving him food.
Wolves the guides get lifelink
if you have a fairy.
No, for a celebration.
Oh, for celebration. Okay, that's better.
Yeah. Which I guess with the rolls, maybe he is triggering that.
And the scavengers can trigger that too. Okay, so that's better, because then it is becomes a 3-power flyer, and then can come in, gain life, which he needs for the tutelage. I mean, okay, these are good drafters. They know how to get some synergy from bad cards. The Celebrant, what's the Celebrant looking to pick up? I guess up the beanstalk.
Yeah, maybe Utopia Sprawl as just to get it to trigger it.
Yeah, to trigger.
I mean, I guess maybe you can bounce Tough Cookie, get another food.
Yeah, or you can bounce your Dark Tutelage.
Yeah.
Just to so it doesn't kill you.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's some action in this deck.
He does run the Titanic Growth too.
Nice. Which actually, I kind of like, because you put that on your lifelinker, right? You already have a 3/3 flying lifelinker. Yeah. Now you're hitting for 7 lifelink.
Yeah.
That's enough to draw you 2-3 cards off the dark tutelage.
Right.
That's pretty good. All right. So looking at this deck, Sam, what would you guess was Nathan's record in draft? Playing against the best players in the world. As one of the best players in the world.
I don't think it was 0-3. I don't think it was 3-0. I'm gonna guess he was 1-2.
That's correct. He went 1-2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So apparently,
I could see it being 2-1 too. I mean,
yeah,
it does not seem like a. I could see. I mean, I would see it going 0-3 before I saw it going 3-0.
Yeah, I think apparently I didn't watch all the games. In game 1, he does get the guides, the celebration going,
okay,
and just hitting them with lifelink and just able to race his opponent out, but it doesn't quite come together in the other games.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, I think if you got 1 or 2 gluttons somehow, I don't know what I would necessarily take out. Just I mean, the back for seconds is probably pretty mediocre in here.
Yeah. I guess that's a good point. It is kind of nice, because back for seconds can put in a 4-drop.
Yeah.
And so then you put in the guides and you go back to the lifelink plan.
Right.
Or
you put Tough Cookie back, get another food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just try some stuff.
So.
Or you put Celebrant back and you're scrying. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
but I would definitely want 1 or 2 gluttons. I just don't know on first blush.
Well, he didn't see any gluttons.
Well, right.
I think if I were in the seat, and of course, I'm not saying that I'm a better drafter than Nathan Stoyer, but if I were in this seat, I probably would have been red, because I would have been much more willing to jump into red, and wanting much more to play an aggressive type of game. And so just by how the first pack looked, I think I might have ended up into some kind of Izzet deck.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that that's going to get there, right?
Right. Yeah, I think the green he was taking early made sense. And there was a couple weird choices with the white. Because I don't think he's that incentivized to even play white with what he has.
Yeah,
Even here in the final cut.
going into
some of
pack,
the blue was strong.
but you don't really want to be Simic.
No.
You want to like splash blue if you're going to play a green deck with blue.
Right.
And like, I mean, that's the thing, right? If you have like, if you're playing say green red, right, you can splash Johann, and then you have all your adventures, and that triggers off of Johann. So like, there are different options for him. I think even with how his first two packs looked, in pack 3, he could have gone harder on black and been this kind of Golgari deck.
Yeah.
That just was like splashing some of like splashing the Charmed Clothier and the Sir Armand, and like really, like he doesn't have like what he's got. Like we're saying that he's a green white deck, but he has like 5 white cards, right?
Right, and 3 black cards.
Yeah, so he's really just heavily green, and it seemed like green was just contested on this pod.
I guess 4 black cards because of the adventure on the Dreadnought too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's one of those things with like the Dreadnought. If you don't have black mana and you play the green side, you're kind of scared because if they kill it, then they have a window in which you can't play the adventure, and then you don't get the full value.
You don't.
Yeah. So like, yeah. So
does it exile if you don't cast it?
Oh, because it goes to the adventure side.
You can only cast that adventure from the graveyard for a turn after it dies.
Okay, but then it stays in the graveyard.
It stays in the graveyard.
Okay, so he could back for second.
Oh, he can back. Yeah, for sure.
If you missed that, okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. Should we go to the second draft?
Let's do it.
So for the second draft, we're looking at I think Anthony Lee, who's he 3-0'd his first pod, and he was like top seeded in day 1.
Okay.
So they chose to just get the cameras behind the top seeded drafter going into day 2. So we'll skip ahead from.
That was kind of a depressing look at the table setups for the for the games. You're just playing on a concrete floor in a huge convention hall.
And then like
it's not like the World Series of Poker where it's like carpeted,
it's all nice
gambling rooms.
And then because like
it's like a cafeteria.
What I know about like how they set up the World Championship or like the competitive space for the competitive space versus everyone else is that they're in completely different parts of the convention floor. So like this is the World Championship area, but like it has a full convention floor, but like none of the people who are like going for cosplaying or like, to play Commander, to play like their on-demand events, they're not here, right? This is just everyone just like hanging out here, right?
Okay.
And then this little carpet off areas where the pros are playing. So it definitely is like.
So this is they're playing their actual matches.
Yeah.
These okay.
So I think they're gonna draft. I mean, here they show some of these people. I think these people are playing games in the forefront.
Looks like it.
So yeah, and then these tables over here, you see they're like circular, right? These are just like for audience to watch if they want.
Okay.
You can see how well
people are watching.
I mean, you're at the freaking Magic Con. Are you gonna like go play your event, or are you gonna watch like people playing for more money than you get to play for? Okay, here we'll skip by and we'll pretend that everything is swanky and cool. Oh, let's take a look at some of the people who made it to day 2. There's more than just this one pod, but this is the I think so at least. But this is the day 2 draft, and you see some people who are going to make it. Spoiler alert! Into the top 8.
Okay.
There's Greg Orange. There's Reed Duke. And I think Anthony Lee also makes it into the top 8.
Nice.
So this is a pretty stacked pod. I mean, everyone is stacked. It's day 2 of the freaking World Championship. Yeah. Greg Orange, by the way, from Minneapolis.
Oh, nice.
So
what's his home game shop?
That I don't actually know. Maybe it's Lodestone.
Have you met him?
I've never met him. No. I know he had a podcast like ages ago. Which is actually, it was really funny. It's like a Gong Show style podcast where it's like they had they had a magic topic and a wheel, right? And they spin the wheel, they choose a random topic, and then someone sets a random timer. Yeah. And they just talk about that topic until the timer goes off, and then they just spin the wheel again. But I don't think it's been going on for a while. All right, we can skip past the
Just giving them some instructions.
on how to draft. Yeah, I mean, drafting at the World Championship or any competitive event is stressful because they have, there's a timer going on. They're giving you you have 50 seconds to make your pick. They're counting
And
down.
you can't pick up cards once you
Yeah,
put them down
exactly.
or until you between packs.
So
And you got to count them out.
yeah, to make sure there's no cheating. So here, this is pack one, pick one.
You got the rare that copies.
Yenna, the Selesnya rare. And then what else is in this pack? There's the witch,
Flick a coin.
Flick a
Seems like
coin.
he pulled up front.
but he's taking
Pretty
Yenna.
quick on that one.
I want to see what else is in there. Yenna is it's a powerful card,
It's kind of hard to see what
but
what else is there. It's like blue. Don't even look at those.
yeah. So Yenna is a very powerful card.
The high wielder.
Oh yeah, but one of the
last one.
But one of the problems with Yenna is that it's a kind of tough to cast 4-mana 4/4. Oh, there's also the Van.
Wait, this is the same pack. Cooped
Think
up is
so.
in there.
Cooped Up is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean first pick over the Yenna though. I'm not sure, but
So Yenna's a 4-mana 4/4, and sometimes I find you don't have the time to get the Yenna train going of copying your enchantments, and then it's just a 4-mana 4/4. But and there are other 4-mana 4/4s in the set, but it does have this high ceiling, and I think that pack was just really weak, and so maybe he's just choosing to go with the higher ceiling. Okay, cool. Business meetings has been concluded, so we're gonna
the
get
event
back.
has been booked.
So now we're gonna get back to the business at hand, which is
More important stuff.
the draft. Is this pick 2, right?
This is pick 2.
So he had, what did he pick?
He picked the red or the green white Yenna.
Yenna. Okay, the Yenna rare. So yeah, out of a pretty weak pack, and now pick 2. This pack's a lot better. There's the red
Catcher.
Vanguard. There's also the snake, which I kind of love that card.
Yeah, the snake's kind of fun.
This is the elemental snake that pings them whenever they play a low cost spell. And there's also the familiar, which is the other off color adventure card.
Yeah, I see. For me with this red tooth, that second pick, I would never make that pick.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the
Their card's
snake.
pretty replaceable. The snake I like, and I don't even think you have to play the adventure side on the snake to have it be worthwhile
for sure.
being in your deck.
I mean, again, this feels and there's another Sir Armont in this pack. There's Cooped Up, which obviously goes best with Yenna.
Mhm.
This is pick 3 here. And notably, there's no red in this pack.
No red.
There is one red card, but I don't know what it is even. Because he's definitely not considering it. I wonder what we can see what it is. Oh, it's the ogre.
Yeah, the make creatures unable to block one, right?
So he takes the Cooped Up here, which I think, it goes well with Yenna. It's kind of trying to. It is the best card that you really want to be copying with Yenna, really.
Yeah.
It's 2 mana. It's really easy to pay 2 more mana. And
Ooh, nice.
the Princess Takes Flight. That's another awesome
that
card to be copying with Yenna. It's also now anything that says bargain gets a lot better because you want to be bargaining away that final chapter so they don't get the creature back. There are some good cards in there. There's the Ratcatcher. There's a Hopeless Nightmare. There's a Twisted Fealty, which is another really good card. Maybe Nathan passed a Twisted Fealty in the first draft? We didn't comment on it.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
But that card's also really good in any aggressive deck. Because not only does it steal a creature, it also puts a Wicked Roll on something, can help trigger Celebration. Here,
So for white, what is that one that he's? I don't know that one.
so there's Evolving Wilds, which I think is a great pickup here. There's Titanic Growth. There's the Guest. The white card, I think the white card is Kellen's Light Blades, which is a good defensive card. But I think perfectly reasonable to pick up a Evolving Wilds this early in the draft.
Definitely.
Just whenever you can pick up Evolving Wilds kind of free without passing up premium cards, it's pretty nice. But yeah, I wonder if he feels like he is pigeonholed into Selesnya right now to play Yenna. So the next pack, he's looking at Protective Parents. There's this uncommon tapping card, which
That's an uncommon.
and the one that's like, oh, I thought it was the there's that enchantment, but I think it was the Eerie Interlude or whatever that like weird fog effect is. He picks up the tapper, the common tapper card.
Okay.
And now, so we're kind of halfway through the pack. There's
There's Evolving Wilds.
and then kind of not a lot of their good stuff, right? There's the Minecart Vanguard or Minecart Daredevil, which is good, but like you don't really want to be going into red for that card.
Right.
And maybe I think it's good because I just really value the red cards very highly.
I mean, it's a good aggressive card, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then so in
there's
this
the
pack,
fog.
there's the Griffin Airy, which is kind of like a food payoff in white. There's a Witch, which I do like Conceited Witch. There's also the Boros Signpost. And he did pass some good red earlier.
Oh.
He takes the Eerie. I guess he's thinking that he's going to be a like Abzan type deck.
How's he gaining life? I mean, I
For
guess
food.
that's one way.
What did he pick up here?
The Archon. Because if you bargain, you get life link with that.
Archon Flora, yeah, for sure. And that card is really good.
Yeah, I like that one. Just 1 mana.
Yeah.
That one's probably the combat trick that's blowing me out the most.
I mean, it's so good. Just being able to like. Also, it does combo with the Princess Takes Flight because that's you're bargaining away the enchantment before they can get the creature back.
Totally.
Here, there's the Fixer, the Beanstalk. He's taking the Guardian of the Sleeping, which is kind of an enchantments card. Was it Savior of the Sleeping? But like this is a card that I don't really want to pick.
And then he gets another one right after that.
Yeah. So now it's kind of like I wonder if he just feels like okay, I'm doing the enchantments thing.
Yeah, I think I would have taken the Scarecrow on the instead of the Savior on that first pick.
Help enable splashes later. There's a second tapper.
Yeah, I found those tappers to be not good.
Yeah, I
Kinda
mean
slow.
they're very slow. It's just kind of a bear for too long in the game.
Rare drafted.
What would he pick up here?
Heuristic Study.
Heuristic Study. Okay. I mean, hey, that honestly a stamped Heuristic Study from the World Championship probably will be pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So get your money.
Yeah.
And there was not much else in the pack, so why
No.
not? Okay. So pack one rounded out. What do you feel about the direction of this draft so far?
I think he's only got like in terms of cards I'd be like actively looking to put in my deck 3 or 4. I mean, not counting the Evolving Wilds, but the Griffin Airy, I've never seen that pay off. He doesn't have any food.
He's so heavily white too, and
Yeah,
so
heavily
like,
white with white cards that I'm not looking to
play. And they're like enabling green like Selesnya cards that like are combo pieces with them, but like with no other really good green. Maybe you'll see green in pack 2.
Yeah, he didn't really see green, that's for sure.
But like, I know I keep on bringing up red, but there was a lane into like Boros, I think.
Yeah,
because there was that Ash.
Ash was late.
And like Ash is not like a crazy good card, but it is like if you are trying to set up Boros for yourself, you take that card.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Oh, there's Gavin Seif at this table.
Yeah, that he's also a goofy dude.
Yeah, the yellow hat.
Yellow hat. Yeah.
But these are all like really good play. And that's the thing is like good cards are not going to get passed, right? Like no one is passing an Immodane's Recruiter, right? People might even like just hate that card just because they're like, this is a card that's going to kill me.
Yeah, and you're playing in a pod.
So this pack there's another Princess Takes Flight, which
I like that.
He has to be happy to see that. The rare, I mean, if you're in red, the rare is really good.
What was that?
It's the Decadent Dragon.
Oh yeah, that's like one of those makes you angry cards.
Yeah, when they play, especially when
take your top 2, right?
Yeah, they take the top 2,
and they never lose them either. It's
they
like
can play them for forever.
Part.
They need some way to fix their mana for them. But like,
I don't mind when they take your card, but they get a limited time to play it. With
Uh-huh.
like Gonti or that card, when they're just like sitting over there.
They're just looking at it.
Yeah.
Just with your card on their side of the field. Just being like, let me take another peek at that. Maybe
And
this will help.
The other worst thing is when they hit a land and a
Yeah.
card, and they can use your land
To
then
cast your
it.
spell.
Otherwise, they could have never played it.
Now, this pack here, so yeah, he took the Princess Takes Flight, and he's eyeing up this Gingerbread Hunter, which is honestly one of the most powerful green cards.
Yeah.
Just like so much value.
Passes some other playable green too. Takedown,
Takedown's
Brave the
good.
Wilds, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, those are both, and also a Ginger Brew, which I guess is not really interesting for his deck, but
Well, if he's trying to do food with the life gain, though, I mean, at least that's one.
yeah, Ginger Brew tends to be in this set more, just much more of an aggressive card, where like you're trying to play it, and then you put a roll on it. Ideally, you put the Young Hero roll, and then you attack. You put like counters on it until it's like a 4/4 that you pay 1 to make it unblockable.
Ginger Brew has played less of a role than it did in the original Eldraine, I feel like.
Mm.
I feel like in the original one, I was always seeing that thing going to town. But maybe people just drafted it higher now in this go around
Maybe
because it was good last time.
So what does he take over this? I think it's hard to say because like in the last Eldraine, it really was like trying to be monocolor, right?
Sure.
And trying to be like an aggro card you can play in monocolor. And here I really feel like it is about like suiting it up with something.
Sure.
But then here, what's in this pack? Like there's a Celebrant. There's really no other white. There's some like okay black. There's the Baronati.
Wasn't the green? What is the green one?
What is
Knight
the
of-
green one? Knight of Sweet's Revenge?
Yeah.
Oh, it is Knight of Sweet's
He's
Revenge.
not even thinking about that.
I mean, I guess he doesn't have that much food,
Yeah.
but like the ceiling of Knight of Sweet's Revenge is pretty high. That's one of those like Circovitz had a thread on Twitter.
Does it make its own food when you cast it?
It does,
Okay.
yeah. But like, I mean, by itself, it's like 4 mana, only putting you up 1 green mana. But if you have more food, then like you can be like mana positive if you have like 4 food lying around.
Right.
There's an art cooped up for him.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty.
But like Circovitz was saying that, and there's also the Vigil, which is another card
yeah.
you would want to copy with Yenna.
Yeah, and he's got the Celebrant to bounce that.
Yeah, but that's actually
I would not take that. Though.
No, passing. I would take the Vigil before the second red cap.
Yeah, or I mean, I think if I didn't have it cooped up, I would take cooped up. He already has one.
Red Tooth, but yeah, that's
take
true.
But in that situation, I would definitely take an individual. It just has way more synergy than this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 3-power 2-drop, but there's just so much like ways to like. There's so many ways to hate like Rat Out, right? Ways to hate 1 toughness creatures, and even if you can get it back, it just costs a lot of mana. Okay, he's taking a Ginger Brute. He could have taken the Return from the Wilds here as like fixing.
Yeah.
To kind of like set him up for being more of a soupy 3-color deck. But it was okay. Circovitz was saying for like Knight of Sweet's Revenge that like if you filter 17 lands data by like top players, it's got like a 60-something like game in hand win rate.
Wow.
Like top players know how to make that card unfair.
What is it without or just overall players?
The overall players, it's like 49. It's really bad.
Oh dang.
So it's like, I mean, I guess that says that you need to have the right deck for it. And maybe, Anthony Lee, he's gotten this far. He 3-0'd his last draft. He knows what it takes to make Knight of Sweet's Revenge pay off.
He didn't even look at it.
Yeah, he'd probably think. Honestly, he might be thinking, I'm a white deck with like green as my second color. Like I cannot play green splashy cards because I'm not base green.
Oh, that's
Although,
a good.
Here
up late.
he gets this late Hamlet.
It's
club.
almost on the wheel, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards left.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's not quite the wheel, but it did go quite a ways around the table.
No, I mean, yeah, it's
And what else is
2 more picks.
There's Donna Hope, okay, which is kind of unplayable. There's Territorial. That's the uncommon, right?
Well, Donna Hope unplayable. He's trying to do the life gain deck here.
What does Donna Hope do?
When you gain
life, it makes a 1/1.
No, I think you can pay 2 to draw a card.
Okay.
But you pay 3 and a white. Oh, there you go.
Okay. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 2 if you do draw a card. Okay, and then you can create a 1/1 soldier with lifelink. Okay,
Yeah.
that's actually not bad. It's like so.
It's probably too dirtily for
This
for this setup. Sealed, maybe.
yeah.
You could be getting this going.
It's one of those cards where it's like, if I were just trying to evaluate the set, in spoiler season, you can imagine all the scenarios in which like this card is just oppressive, right?
Yeah.
I'm cracking my food, I'm drawing a card, and I'm making tokens, and I just get to a point in the game where this does like, I'm spending so much mana every turn, and I bury my opponent, right? But like, I guess the format's so proactive that this is how much is it? It's just two mana to put on.
Yeah.
See, that's still pretty low. But how much is it to make the token? 4?
3 and a white.
I guess, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely that kind of scenario you're talking about.
I mean, for sure you take Hamlet Button here.
Yeah, no question.
I'm not even sure what else was in that pack. But like, he's pretty jazzed to see Hamlet Button as, if not the best, like in the top 3 green commons. And then here, there's a Knightly Valor, which, Nathan Storer actually would have wanted to get one of those, right?
Yeah.
It's a 5-drop that is an aura. So
yeah, that seems like a good. That's a copy target with the
Yenna, yeah. I mean, right now it does feel like Anthony is like, trying to make Yenna as good as possible, except for that like Vanguard pick, which
the 2 Vanguards. I think he had other options.
So here he takes the Candy Trail, which I'm
Reluctantly playable, I think.
like in some decks, Candy Trails are pretty good. If you have Welcome to Sweet Tooth, this card is pretty awesome because it just gives you another counter on that chapter, and because it's a food, but it also replaces itself. Also, he's got the Griffin Airy, right? So he wants to get more ways to gain life.
Curious to see if he ends up playing that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
But yeah, and I think this is another sealed versus draft. I think in almost all sealeds, Candy makes my deck if I have one.
Oh, for sure.
Most of the time, especially best of 3.
And now, okay, what did he pick over? There's a Knight of Sweet's Revenge still in this pack.
Wow.
And he takes the Rest in Peace,
Which he's not going to play.
He's not going to play. That's like just a rare draft. Like basically he's saying, I don't want any of this junk in the pack.
That's surprising.
And there's a Wicked Visitor, which again, he's not base black, so he wouldn't play it. Not Dead After All is like, I don't know. You probably don't want to splash it, but it's like, it's something.
Do you know the win rate on that one?
Not Dead After All.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, but it's like, but it is for base black decks, right?
Sure.
And like, this is the kind of card that does like tend to benefit the win rates.
Yeah.
Because like, it's the kind of card that whenever you cast it, you're pretty happy and
Definitely.
you blow your opponent out. Whereas like, Knight of Sweet's Revenge, like, you could just have that in your hand and like not cast it and just like not even think about it. I don't know. Especially after picking up the Candy Trail, I might be like, what harm does it take to take Knight of Sweet's Revenge here?
Yeah.
And like have the option of being like this kind of food deck.
Right.
And then you can really go off with Griffin Airy, is that you have all these foods.
Yeah. Nothing here.
It's a Raid Bombardment, and he just takes the Ogre as a card he's probably not going to play. Here, there's, I don't know.
Leaping Ambush.
Leaping Ambush is fine. I don't know what that...
Sideboard combat trick, probably.
Yeah, it's a pretty good combat trick. He takes the Enchantrable Virtue, second to last pick.
Right, not playing that.
Yeah, he needs to have a certain amount of tokens. If you have a lot of the like vigils, hopeful vigils.
I can't believe he didn't take that hopeful vigil on that one. Pick. That's so weird to me.
It's like that's a card that the Stockpilling Celebrant can pick up. It can be copied by Yenna, and because Yenna doesn't let you make copies of multiples, right? Having the variety of things to copy is really good.
Right.
So like, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe he just wants to have the 3-power 2-drop.
Yeah, they must obviously rate it higher on their team than I do.
Yeah, I'm not sure what team Anthony was part of, but I don't think. I wonder if he's part of Team Handshake, just because my
Is he
like.
moving to the front here? Is I don't want to play these cards?
Yeah, maybe
Seems
like.
like it.
It just looks like all the 2-drops.
Oh, I
It's
suppose.
just like mana value. 2, 3, 4, 5,
Oh, creatures
and then
that stuff,
and then
yeah.
spells, the non-creatures. I mean,
I would look at that as I'm hoping to not play those 2 tappers. One of the vanguards I think is fine, but I'd way rather have the vigil.
but also looking at his deck, right? Like he's got some aggressive pieces. He's got 2 princesses take flight,
Yeah,
which is an
sure.
aggressive card.
Definitely.
So maybe he's thinking like, okay, I've got these 3 power 2-drops, and I just want to like I can get some combat tricks, and I do have Yenna for a little bit of late game. Maybe he's just thinking that he's like a Selesnya beatdown deck.
Yeah,
And he's got these like enchantment synergies to like close out the game. But like the plan A is just to curve out, beat them down. So yeah, I definitely like his position better than Nathan's.
Yeah.
Going into pack 3.
I would agree with that.
He, it just feels like he's much more solidly in his colors and got the pieces already. And now he does get a Utopia Sprawl to kind of enable a black splash if he wants it.
Yeah.
And then
I
other
don't
than
really have that much he's looking to splash, right? Just the venture on the gingerbread hunter.
yeah, exactly. But he still probably would like to
And he has
cast
2
that.
evolving wilds.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff already. But I think just being able to ramp into your 5-drops, especially like the Glutton, is really nice. I've had like drafts where I like am able to turn 4 Hamlet Glutton by like playing land and Utopia Sprawl, and then you bargain Sprawl to the Hunter after you tap the land for it, and then a turn. Ooh, now he gets the champion. That's nice for him. And
Anything of note?
a virtue, he doesn't want 2 of those for sure.
Right.
There's some good red in this deck. Oh, it's fine red. It's got belligerent to the ball.
You love that red.
Yeah, belligerent to the ball brawl honestly is not like that great. It's a fine payoff for celebration.
That's the gives +1 in menace.
Yeah. He's also passing a return triumphant, which is honestly with the red caps, I keep on saying red cap, red tooth vanguards is pretty good because it comes back with the young hero roll. And so that means that when it's attacking the turn after, it becomes a 4/2.
Sure.
Hey, how's it going, Tommy? We're almost done. Okay, so not a lot for him yet. I think there's a prism in here. No, this is the 3 bowls of porridge, which is not a card that I'm like excited to play.
Yeah. Definitely a more of sealed card on that one too, I think.
Is there a Totentanz's song in this pack?
I think there was.
I mean, I know I'm like talking about that red life, but like
That card's insane though.
that card is really pretty busted. And
And he
also,
passes it here?
he passes. Also, he has an intangible virtue already.
Yeah.
Intangible virtue plus Totentanz's song, like that is kind of magical Christmas land.
Yeah.
I've lost to that, right?
Yeah.
So like, if you're making like even 3 hasty 2/2s, it's hard to come back from that.
I just don't know how you don't hate draft that in that situation.
What did he pick up again?
Brave the Wilds.
Oh yeah, it's like
He already has one. I guess maybe he really wants to make sure he has a bargain.
I mean, getting 2 Brave the Wilds is still good. Like you want to have 2 or 3 sometimes. And this is a fine pickup. This Acolyte.
Yeah, I like that card.
And it's good, especially good in his deck because he'll always, he's base Selesnya, so he'll always be able to play both sides.
Right.
So, yeah, I think also keep in mind that, the stakes of this draft are pretty high. Doing cute things might be like, the team might disincentivize being too cute.
The song though is just so easy to splash, and it's not like you're gonna cast that. If you're casting that for less than 5,
You're
it's
sad.
kinda-
Yeah, for sure.
for non-blocking rats. If they blocked, casting for 2 or 3 is a little bit different, but yeah, you gotta hope you're casting that for 6, 7.
Yeah, you stabilized, and then you're just like, I'm gonna kill you with these rats.
Yeah.
He picks up this oof here, which is nice. He does have like one of the things that's nice about this draft versus Nathan's is that he already has a lot of like 2-drops.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to be like stressed about early game stuff. But like these packs are pretty empty for him. Like there's this really great black card, the Fairy. But he's not playing black.
Right.
And it's a 1-mana card. It's really, you don't want to splash this 1-mana Fairy. It's what he takes. Just Into the Fake War. Just hates that card. That is a card that honestly kind of makes sense because that is a card that could beat him if he's in a board stall versus a blue deck. They drop this, they refill their hand,
Sure.
and then they get value that he can't overcome.
Oh, that's late.
He gets a late Sir Armand.
Seems solid pickup this late.
Yeah, for sure. So he's just happy to pick that up.
So you have to hold the card up like that too before you put it down because they all do that. It seems like.
Maybe. I think they all have people behind them, like documenting.
Seeing so you're just showing them.
I think he's specifically showing the camera.
Oh, okay.
So like, I don't know if like Reed needs to do that because he's not the featured drafter, but like Anthony's doing it so that the camera can pick it up and like we can like look at what's going on. Here, I like this pickup. This combat trick can be pretty surprising.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. It's like Moment of Valor, right?
Yeah, it's got the 2 modes.
Yeah, and it's like they can be a really powerful sideboard card.
Mm-hmm.
It can be. It's not a great combat trick, but it works in a pinch.
Indestructible too, so it can get them on some stuff like that.
Yeah, it can be both like a counter spell for removal, or it can be a combat trick, or it can kill their biggest creature.
Yeah, that one's one that's one of those like, wait, you're playing that card sort of cards, and somebody casts it against you. Like I never expect that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like you drop your hammer good, and you're like, oh, just try and beat me now. And they're like, I don't know, I had this.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what? Nobody really plays that.
Yeah, and until it gets you a couple times, and you're like, oh, I have to respect this card.
Yeah.
And that's honestly makes the card better in a way. It's like that's why like Titanic Growth is good because no one expects you to play Titanic Growth.
Totally.
And then like you are able to blow people out in combat environments. And that's kind of why I like sets like this that have value decks but are weighed more towards aggro because like sometimes when you're just getting outvalued, it feels hopeless, and being able to like get there with tricks and stuff feels really satisfying.
I'll see, he was just gonna flip it there, and then
it's like, oh, I have to show the camera. Yeah. Okay, maybe he's gonna. Oh, he doesn't even rare draft the Phyrexian on life. He takes the
the discard.
Oh, the Red's Whisper. Okay, maybe just a little.
I thought it froze.
Yeah, maybe they're having a little slowdown here. These are just the last couple of picks. We have to kind of wrap up, so we'll just jump to his final deck. So this is his final build, and seems rock solid.
Yeah.
It's Lesmia with only a small splash for. He's not even playing 2 of his Evolving Wilds. He's only playing 1.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. He's got Brave the Wilds.
Yeah,
he's got Utopia Sprawl. He's got Evolving Wilds.
He's got a lot of fixing for basically 1 card, which is the Gingerbread Hunter.
Yeah.
But yeah, this curve looks awesome.
Yeah.
He's got like he's playing the 3 Bowls of Porridge, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, surprising.
I've never seen that card played. But 2 Princess takes fight, pretty solid stuff. All right, if you had to guess how this deck went, what would you say?
2-1.
You're crushing it. 2-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I think he made the top 8. So yeah, shouts out to Anthony Lee for. There's someone actually. A couple people did go like 3-0, 3-0. I guess they had to, right?
Did they put these games on YouTube?
Yeah.
I'd be curious to watch his deck play out.
Yeah. See how.
What his loss look like.
I mean, just being able any game where you're bargaining the Princess Takes Flight or copying the Princess Takes Flight, it's just so powerful.
If the tapper was the hopeful vigil,
Oh,
I would rather
sure.
have that.
Also, like, well, the Vanguard was another one.
Yeah. I guess that's what he chose over the.
Yeah, I mean that would be really nice, and it's just goes along with his stockpiling.
Yeah, and
So-
his.
Savior of the Sleeping,
Yeah.
which is like honestly a terrible card, but like if you're gonna play that card, you need to play all the enablers. All right, I think that's gonna do it for this
All right.
retrospective. Do you have any final thoughts, Sam?
Nope. Come to the Sisyphus draft next. When is it?
13th. I think it's October 11th. Is that crazy?
Let's look up a date.
Yeah, let's plug the right thing. Then we have to go do this show.
Yeah, you gotta go tell your fart jokes.
That's right. This is high stakes stuff.
The 11th.
The 11th. I'm right. Okay.
Sisyphus draft.
6
Come
p.m.
beat Zach.
Come beat Zach. Come beat Sam.
Come beat 3 Sams.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot of Sams.
There's a lot of Sams. There's a
Keep
whole Sam's
multiplying.
gauntlet. So if your name is Sam, consider that your formal invitation. We need to collect them all. All right. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening. I love you, Mana. Peace.